You think you'd have a different haircut, or you think you'd stay with that?
I would have a different haircut for sure.
Yeah, because right now you look like you could be in a Broadway production of Grease.
For sure.
With that hair, yeah.
For sure.
Like that hair can come out like either moving a little bit or gelled down going bop doop da da. Why are we singing Hanson? Yeah, yeah, bop doop da ba boom bop. Yeah, yeah. I don't know any of the words. All I know is that they were trying to be the Jackson 5, but they were they white kids from the Midwest?
They're white kids from, I think, somewhere in the South, if I remember. I think they're from Oklahoma or something like that.
I just wanted to know if you were keeping up with Hanson.
Look it up. I think Oklahoma.
That would be hilarious if he knew exactly where they were from and what they were doing. They were all brothers, right? What's Hanson up to now? Let me guess. Do they have a podcast?
Tulsa.
Woo! Bro, you nailed it. Mm-hmm. How did you know that?
I was doing...
Was Hanson the music that got you out of the church? Did you hear Bop and you were like, I got to go live in the world?
Dad, I have to convert.
You're like, those kids are having too much fun. I got to get out of here.
I'm tired of listening. You raise me up. I need to listen to... I was doing some shows in Tulsa, and I remember randomly at one of the venues that Hanson was about to do the same venue that I was doing, and somebody's like, oh, yeah, they're from here. So it's just one of those random things that I remember from years ago that I was like, I'm pretty sure they're from Tulsa.
Yeah, that's a good... If you were wondering... The brothers Hanson.
Yeah.
Because all three of them were brothers.
Yeah.
It was funny because there's just like also a lot of people don't know, Kings of Leon, they're brothers and cousin. I think they're all related.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Caleb, Followell, and...
Yeah, they're all related. And a lot of people don't know that. And then it's funny because there's always one... I'm just going to talk very LA and honest right now. There's always one look challenged one. Always. In the brothers groups.
Did they try to put it out of focus slightly on the album cover?
Like, he's like the bassist. Like the guy in Kings of Leon, I think he's one of the guitar guys. I think he's the first cousin. He's not as good looking as Caleb and the lead singer guy. Mm-hmm. And then Hanson. Yeah, there's
always in the boy band the one who is...
Wait a second, though. Those are the three Hanson kids now?
Yep.
I stand corrected.
Yes,
The kid grew up nice because all three of them are fucking beautiful to look at. But they're shot in black and white, so I don't know if they were at a Dave Chappelle show. I mean, he does all his photos in black and white.
Yeah.
Like, we get it. You're an icon, but like...
Timeless, legend.
Yeah, legend. We get
Goat.
it. Yeah, everything's got to look like fucking the honeymooners.
Historic.
Yeah. Look at Hanson now.
Yeah, they actually, they kept their looks.
Yeah, it's so weird to look at that. The young kid... is a man now. I remember that little kid. Look at them. They look like three girls.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if that kid decided to go trans, he wouldn't have to do much. All he'd have to do is block the testosterone. I don't even think he needed estrogen.
I like the cop a feel.
Yeah. I mean, that one on the left, the lead singer kid, looks like a girl named Sarah.
Oh, for sure. Definitely.
The only one that looks like a dude is the older one.
Yeah, and that guy was just like smoking a lot of pot.
These kids needed puberty. They needed puberty bad to turn dude. I mean, it looks like the girls' album.
That's crazy.
The two on the left. That kid was, what was he, 3 or 4 or 5? The young one playing drums.
Young, yeah.
Now, was that real, or do you think that they just set that up? Like they did Milli Vanilli. Like, do you think that 4-year-old was playing drums? Can a 4-year-old play drums?
I've seen videos online of little kids like that playing drums, and it's pretty crazy impressive. But I don't know if he was actually playing the drums in that or not.
Did they ever do anything else besides Bop, or did they ever explain to the people what Bop was about?
Right.
What
the deep meaning
that'd be funny.
Bop.
Yeah, if they came out now and they're like, "Look, this is what Bop was really about.
Yeah.
It was about peace between the Ukraine and Russia." And we were just way ahead of that story.
Way ahead of our time.
Way ahead of our story. Yeah. Are we looking up Bop's meaning?
Okay, yeah.
Hanson family explains the meaning of their hit song. I can't wait.
This exclusive is coming in hot on long days.
This is, guys, if you have been wondering what the meaning of Bop is, Yannis and Jeremiah are here to provide. It's been 20 years since Hanson released their hit MMMBop, and people who grew up listening to the Catch Some have always wondered what it meant. Guess what? No, they haven't. Nobody's ever asked that question until this podcast or when GMA decided to fucking make it up. Have you ever heard anyone ask you what the meaning of MMMBop was?
No, not when when you're like in any music theory classes in any college. Like, today we will be going over the meaning of the hit song MMMBop from Hanson. It's been on all of our minds since the 90s, since it trampled into our ear canals. And today we will be revealing the true meaning.
Now we'll introduce music expert, whomever, and then there's like a whole lecture on it. Yeah. So a lot of people ask what MMMBop means, Zach says. Well, MMMBop as a word, it represents time. Oh, does it, Zach?
Oh, yeah?
Does it? Or is that something you made up now that you're an adult? MMMBop just sounds like fucking noises that kids make. It represents the fact that time passes very quickly, and so in a story about reaching for what's important and kind of driving towards the impossible dream, MMMBop is telling you, go now, go now, go now, because in a moment, in a MMMBop, life will be over and have passed you by. You are full of shit.
We're calling BS on you.
Get the fuck out of here. MMMBop.
There's no way when they wrote that, the passage of time.
You're 7 years old.
You're a time traveler at 7?
You're able to fucking think like Henry David Thoreau at 7 years old. Get the fuck out of here.
H.G. Wells? Who are you?
Yeah. Do you buy that for 1 second, Jeremiah Watkins?
There's no way, Yannis Pappas.
Jesse, you buy that bullshit?
I actually do. I believe it.
You believe him, kids?
I believe it.
You don't think there was like it's publicist called...
you need to have an answer ready.
You need to have an answer. They're going to ask you what MMMBop meant because that's the only thing people could ask you.
Yeah.
People have talked about all they know you from is MMMBop. That's all they'll ever know you for because you're not that musically talented. So now that you guys are adults and you're trying to make a comeback, we need to find a new angle on MMMBop. So what we came up with is there's actually a meaning behind the noise of MMMBop.
I want to see a feature-length movie about this.
I would love to see the movie MMMBop.
MMMBop.
And it's about the passage of time.
Yep.
And so what would that movie look like to you, an MMMBop movie? 3 kids.
Ooh. 3 kids.
So it would be a biopic?
I think they find a journal or like scrolls from another time period where they see the words MMMBop carved in and they're like, that's it. That's a song. And then, like, as they get more famous, demons from the past start coming and reminding them that they've stolen valor from an ancient, like, a conjuring of spirits from the past.
By ancient conjuring of spirits that they stole from, do you mean black music?
Yes.
Got it. Because I was thinking a different movie. It was
Listen, player.
Yeah.
I said MMMBop years ago.
Their parents go to like a club.
Yeah.
Because to hear some music, and they see a black band playing a song, and guys going MMMBop, and he just goes. His kids grow up, and he has the idea, and then he forces his kids to say MMMBop.
Yeah. Say it.
But then, then the family comes after this. Something like that.
Right, like, and then you say MMMBop in the mirror 3 times, and then an old black man with sunglasses is like, "Schoon up, MMMBop, MMMBop." Doesn't it sound like a black guy scatting if you really break down the lyrics of MMMBop? It doesn't sound like 3 white kids.
Not at all. When I first heard it, I didn't think it was. But that's because they're doing black music. It's the same thing when I first heard the Beastie Boys. I thought they were black. Same thing I thought when I first heard Janis Joplin. I thought she was black. Because back then they didn't have the internet. I was born in the 1920s. So you would hear it. There was no videos or TV and shit.
So get this. I used to work in morning radio in Kansas City, and I used to have no music knowledge whatsoever. And they played Run DMC for me. They're like, hey, have you heard of this band? They're called Run DMC. I'm like, no. I'm like, they sound like the Black Beastie Boys. And I almost got fired on the spot. There was hundreds of callers that were calling. They were, fire this guy. He knows nothing about music. And like, yeah.
Yeah, that's because the Beastie Boys got so big. I think they were white. It took rap to places outside of New York. But it's funny. That's true. when I went to college, we didn't grow up with Scott Joplin. Like, I didn't know Scott. Did I call her Scott Joplin before?
Yeah.
I'm fucking retarded. Did I call her Scott Joplin before? Janis Joplin.
No, you said
Joplin.
Janis. Yeah, you said
I said Janis.
Yeah.
Okay, when I first heard Janis Joplin was when I went to college. And I thought she was black, and when I saw she was white, I was surprised. Same thing with the Beastie Boys, because we grew up here, and it was just like all the rappers were black.
Yeah.
Now, that aside, I liked where you were going. You were writing MMMBop, a horror movie.
Yes.
They're being haunted. It's sort of like you steal black music, and then the musician that they stole it from
are haunting
like
them.
the Candyman.
Yes.
So if you sing MMMBop, what happens to you? The jazz guy appears and he beats you up like fucking. What happens?
I think so. I think you start I think you're like every moment of fame that you get, the weaker on the inside you become. Like
Yes.
your skyrocket to fame. Immediately, like you get so big that you have to fall immediately, which happened to them.
God, so it's like Dane Cook's career. I'm just telling the truth. No, I like it. Would you want, dude? This is actually a good movie. MMMBop, the horror story,
Right.
Based on a couple of kids who steal the thing, they get
Maybe
famous.
kind of Stranger Things kind of vibes.
Yeah, it's like, it's like people who get famous. This is a story that happens all the time. Like people get famous, but they have a dirty secret.
Yeah.
The reason why they're famous isn't true.
And in the curse, like they're cursed, like you'll never have another hit if you take this from us. And then
Yes.
they're like, we're gonna do it anyway.
So they have to.
Yeah.
They gotta try. Maybe they have to murder and do things to keep the secret.
Or to keep the fame.
keep the
And they
fame.
can only kill so many people for so long,
Yeah.
and then that's why they start to drop off because the guilt starts eating away at them.
Guilt. This is like based on, and I like all great fictions. It's based on something that happens.
Yeah.
Yannis,